So I was having a conversation, online comment in the chat room with my sister, and we were going over the fact that a lot of these red states, Kentucky, South Carolina, North Carolina, places that voted for Trump, Missouri and stuff like that voted for Trump, and all these states that had these tornadoes and hurricanes, Tennessee even. Trump has denied them aid, denied them FEMA funding to recover, to rebuild. You know? Trump has denied them FEMA funding to rebuild. And my sister was asking me, like, why haven't they been, like, rioting and crashing out yet? Because they riot and crash out for their team lose a game or something like that, or somebody used the wrong bathroom or something like that in the state. I said, well, you touched on something that's the reason. The reason why they haven't crashed out yet is this. Yes, they may be giving interviews and giving their Congress members a hard time, booing them and everything like that when they have their town halls. But don't get this. Let me hip you guys to something. And I'm talking to my friends that always inviting these MAGAs up. I guess they're trying to make content or whatever, but let me tell you guys something. You're inviting these MAGAs up to talk, there's nothing they're gonna change. Let me tell you why. They may be upset with no aid. They may be upset they lost their job. They may be upset that they're about to lose their farm. They may be upset like that guy crashed out on here. Video went viral. The wife was on his phone. He crashed out. He lost his therapist and everything like that. They may be crashing out, mad at Trump and mad at the administration for that. They may be booing their Congress members, talking about the judges and everything like that, and mad at him ignoring judicial rulings. They may be mad at him, and they may sound, and that sounds good to those of us who are more than reality. That seems, oh my, maybe they're waking up. Maybe they're getting it. But don't get it twisted. When it comes to midterm, next year, they will still put these Republican folks back in office. You know why? Because of shit they just did. They sent the Justice Department to some little town in fucking California to investigate because a trans athlete qualified for some track meet. All right, let me make it plain. They'll put these people back in office. They'll still vote Republican despite the fact they're being destroyed because their hate is stronger than their own pain. Their hate is stronger than their own pain. The desire to maintain dominance at all costs is stronger than any motivation that would come out of their own pain. Any self-defensive or protective or socio-political action that would be motivated on the backs of their own personal pain, that is weaker than their hate. They hate black people and our wokeness and the fact that we won't shut up about what was done. The fact that we constantly talking about what was done to us and what is being done to us, right? They hate seeing all these black and brown immigrants around with funny accents who refuse to speak English around them. They hate, and they believe erroneously, they hate the trans community especially. And they hate the LGBTQ community broadly, but they hate the trans community especially because they honestly believe they can send their son to school one morning and a daughter will come back in the afternoon. They hate all of those groups. They hate Latinos. They hate black and brown folks They hate Asians. They hate, that's okay. For you model minority folks that are Asians, you're not gonna ever get picked. They hate you. All right? Let me just drill that in. Their hate for you is stronger than any pain that they have. Anything that they suffer. Jonathan Metzl had it right. He should write another version, a follow-up version of his book, Dying of Whiteness, 47th administration version. He should write another version of that, because they're literally willing to die of whiteness. They're literally willing to be destitute if it means that Trump continues to harm black and brown people. Trump continues to stick it to the LGBTQ and trans folk. Trump continues to humiliate and destroy all these black and brown immigrants, and get these black and brown immigrants out of here. They refuse to speak English around them. And these days, getting rid of these black folks with this uppityness and wokeness, if he continues to do that, they will put him back in office. Any Republican that supports that, they'll put them back in office. This is why they're not crashing out. Because to crash out would mean they would have to replace Trump with a Democrat. And Democrats are palling around with the people that they fucking hate. And they hate those people more than they're even willing to look after their own selves. White supremacy is a hell of a drug. White supremacy creates cults, creates a cult-like following. And it's literally hundreds of millions strong. At least in this country and worldwide. White supremacy is a hell of a thing. White supremacy is cult-like behavior. And their hate for those not like them, their disdain for those not like them, their insistence, their entitlement to remain the dominant class at all cost, always wins out. And whitey women? The white in whitey women is what rules why they do what they do. They're white before they're women. White feminism is all about them hoping that they get to be white men and not be penalized for having a vajayjay. That's what white feminism is about. Black feminism is more authentic feminism because it's mired in the fact that they are women, and secondly, in the fact that they're black and how they express their blackness. So, these people are not going to leave him. Don't get yourself gassed up hoping that the midterms are going to be some big sea change. They're going to dump Trump. I love saying that shit. And that MAGA is going to suddenly wake up and figure out that they've been fucked her over. They hate for people that look like me. And those of you who express yourself as gay and LGBTQ and trans and stuff like that, and black and brown immigrants with funny accents and who won't speak English in front of them, they hate for that shit is stronger than their pain, their personal pain, their personal life's destruction. They're willing to like deal with that and accept that. Even if they lose everything, at least they get satisfaction of seeing an immigrant lose everything. Seeing an immigrant kicked out of here. Black and brown immigrant kicked out of here, and these black people get told to shut up. Black people crying and wailing on here. That's their joy. And they will never give up that joy for anything, even if they have to die for it. What follows are a few books to read to understand this kind of pathology and condition that we're seeing play out yet again. Have a good one, guys. This message is for educational purposes, not for bullying or harassment. Thank you. Have a good day.